In a sense, you could say that gaining attention and having many people behind you wanting you to win, people buying you tickets, coming to watch you, you could say that that can add some pressure. However, my way of seeing things is that I give my all in training. I give 100% every day. When I go to the fight, I try to perform to the best of my abilities. And if things don't work out, at least I can go to sleep knowing I did everything. I wake up knowing that it could be that night when I went to sleep, I could be a WBC Latin champ. I wouldn't say I was that nervous, if I'm honest. I was more nervous on the days leading up to it. But when the day comes, you know, all the work is done. I had made weight the day before, I was refueling myself. And it was just time to perform. It's now or never. I studied my opponent properly. I was confident in my abilities and in my preparation. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy fight. And it definitely wasn't an easy fight. Imagine round one finishes, I go to my corner. It's the most important fight of my life and I haven't won the first round. I had won all the first rounds in all my professional fights since I started as a pro. And the biggest stages of all for me, I go to the corner and I haven't won that round. And I'm like, you need to focus. Speaking to myself and my mind, you need to focus because this might not go your way. All I can remember is watching boxing on TV as a youngster. I think I was 4 or 5 years old. I remember watching it on TV and it just grabbed my attention. And for some reason or another, I just got hooked to it. And I remember at home when I was like very young, I always used to tell my parents and my father, they go, I want to box when I'm older. And like maybe for Christmas they got me like a pair of gloves, etc. I actually got some pictures, some photos of me when I was very, very young, like 5 years old, like on a boxing stance with my brother. And yeah, I first walked into a proper boxing club when I was 12 years old. At the time, it was the only boxing club in Gibraltar, and you could only come in or sign up as from the age of 13. However, he was like sort of my neighbor. I used to like more or less know him, and used to ask him a lot. At the beginning, he told me to just go once a week because I was only 12 and not 13. Since then, I remember I just got hooked on it. A few weeks later, he told me to start going like all the sessions, which was 3 sessions a week. And you know, you start learning technique week after week. The months go by, you just start doing the sparring. You start getting the hang of it. 2.5 years later, nearly 3. The coach comes up to the gym one day, you guys want to fight? You know, all the youngsters like had been more or less the same time as me training. And it's like, okay, we're gonna do a debut now. And so when I was 15 years old, I finally did my first amateur bout, and I did my debut. I remember being very nervous. I ate nothing the whole day due to the nerves.
And Tyrone Buttigieg representing Gibraltar, and Jackson Green representing Yorkshire, and the crowd are beginning to taste what they're coming for this evening. Buttigieg is in the ring, is getting ready for what will be his first fight. A really great test for somebody who's taking out a boxing career.
I had trained a lot, to be honest. I felt really fit, but if you're nervous, you haven't eaten properly, but obviously your body wasn't going to respond. Plus, with all the nerves and anxiety, I started at a pace which was just impossible to maintain. So yeah, amazing first round, the whole crowd on their feet, everyone chanting, etc. The first round was clearly for me. the second round was a different story. Yeah, I remember standing up to start the second round and I felt my legs like quite wobbly already due to the lactic acid. And like, oof, I don't know how this is gonna end up. I already knew things were gonna get tough. And yeah, the second round was way tougher than the first one, and he probably edged it. And going into the third, I just didn't have anything else in me. The refs decided to stop the fight because I just wasn't responding anymore. I didn't have any. My tank was empty. And yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow, especially as a youngster. When you're 15 years old, you want to win, you want to be popular. You know what I mean? So yeah, things didn't turn out in the way I would have liked to, but I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change it for anything because it's days like those that make you, if you know what I mean. And I remember the following day I was like thinking, this is not the end, you know what I mean? It's just my first fight I've lost, but I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna improve. And a few months later I was boxing again. And I went from then on, I did like 15 fights straight on and I won them. I used to go into the ring like much more relaxed and composed. I used to make it a point of eating properly, etc. Even if I was nervous. From the second fight on, I mean, it was straight on. Until we went to the Haringey Box Club, which was like 5 years later. 5 years later, we decided to go to the Haringey Box Club in London, Alexander Palace. That is the Haringey Box Club is the biggest international club tournament in Europe. Like iconic boxers like Anthony Joshua, Chris Eubank, Katie Taylor, Nicola Adams, like many big names who have made it far in the pro game have gone to that tournament and won gold medal. So it's, you know, it's one of my biggest accomplishments as well, especially the biggest in amateur. I was set to go to the Commonwealth Games in 2014 in Glasgow. To be honest, I started to feel like a lot of pressure. I wasn't enjoying myself anymore. One reason for another, I think it was an accumulation of reasons. You know, I just fell out of love with the sport and I decided to pull out. And that was it really. Spent like 8 years out of competition until 2021, Matchroom Sports announced the big card in Gibraltar. I remember seeing the fights and thinking, and seeing some of the fighters and thinking, I think I can be a professional. I remember Ricky Hatton's son, Campbell Hatton, he's done pretty good, to be honest. He hasn't done too bad. But when I saw him, I thought, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's what the thing that triggered me to say it's now or never. So at that point is when I started doing my research and looking for promoters who promote professional boxing, someone who could give me an opportunity for myself to be able to fight professionally. So yeah, I did message a few promoters, I remember, and then I came to the conclusion that the best option for me, because there were the guys closest to home, was Don Principe Promotions. So I did send a message to the guy who now is my manager, and we met up.
Este club se fundó en el año 1988. Lo fundaron por aquel entonces mi padre y mi tío, junto a unos aficionados al boxeo de aquí de la localidad de la Línea. Desde entonces, ya hace prácticamente 40 años, y bueno, siempre hemos tenido una continuidad en lo que se refiere a la organización de eventos deportivos y en lo que es a nivel de competición con nuestro club. Mi padre y mi tío siempre fueron muy enérgicos a la hora de organizar eventos, y desde que se fundó el club, es decir, para que te hagas una idea, hemos organizado más de 250 eventos, en este caso veladas de boxeo. Si tenemos que destacar momentos importantes del club, pues por supuesto las 2 convenciones del Consejo Mundial de Boxeo, ¿eh? Eso es un hito histórico en lo que se refiere al deporte de nuestra ciudad. Estamos hablando que congregamos aquí a más de 500 personas, personalidades del mundo del boxeo, entre ellas el famoso Don King, bueno, vinieron Tito Trinidad, coincidió también que peleó aquí Sergio Maravilla Martínez, que además es muy curioso porque se da la circunstancia que Tyrone en este año ha disputado el título latino del Consejo Mundial de Boxeo, y hace casi 20 años lo disputó Sergio Maravilla Martínez, o sea que esperamos que tenga por lo menos la misma carrera que Maravilla Martínez. A Tyrone lo conocíamos desde muy jovencito porque de hecho disputó aquí algún combate amateur y ya desde muy pequeño apuntaba manera. Después sí que es verdad que le perdimos la pista. Bueno, cosas de la vida, él tuvo un pequeño desencanto con el mundo del boxeo, y entonces, bueno, me llamó la atención, que contactó conmigo a través de redes sociales, además creo que fue en marzo del año 21, nada, él quería saber un poco, él nos conocía de los eventos que organizábamos, y lo que quería era conocer un poco si lo podíamos ayudar. Él tenía un sueño que era el boxeo profesional, y claro, yo lo único es decir, lo invité a que viniera aquí, que habláramos personalmente, que conociera a nuestro entrenador, y ya yo creo que conectamos rápidamente porque vaya, se le ve que es un buen chico, y además desde el primer momento daba señales de seriedad, de compromiso. Oye, cosa que valoramos, y nada, lo único que nosotros le pusimos una pequeña condición, le dijimos: Tyrone, creemos que te podemos ayudar, ¿vale? No va a ser fácil, evidentemente, lo único que vamos a hacer una serie de combates a nivel amateur para que tú vuelvas a conectar y a cogerle nuevamente el hilo al boxeo de competición, y ya cuando terminemos esa serie de combates, pues ya nos planteamos, oye, dar el paso al boxeo profesional. Nosotros ya llevamos varias ediciones de eventos de boxeo, e incluso lo alternábamos con otras modalidades de deportes de combate allí en el casino. El casino tiene una cosa, el casino es precioso y además reúne todas las condiciones para hacer este tipo de eventos. Lo único que nos faltaba era una estrella, ¿eh? Llegó Tyrone, ¿eh? Y empezó a movilizar a una gran cantidad de gente, y ya ahí teníamos la primera victoria, es decir, reunir a un montón de aficionados y hacer del casino pues el templo del boxeo aquí en el campo de Gibraltar. Siempre hemos mantenido los pies en el suelo, y a Tyrone le dijimos que el boxeo profesional requiere, es decir, de ir dando pasos de forma lenta, ir subiendo el nivel de los rivales y bueno, ir progresando. Es lo que hemos hecho hasta ahora. Hemos ido incrementando la dificultad de los rivales, y bueno, y bien Tyrone sabe que esto, me refiero, es complejo, porque no es elijo a este boxeador o elijo a aquel, lo traigo y punto, sino, oye, hay unas negociaciones, hay unos requerimientos, etcétera, y no siempre salen las cosas como uno quiere. A pesar de esto, yo creo que, oye, ha salido bastante bien. La consecución del título pues fue una alegría inmensa. Primero por ver cómo un chico joven que tenía un sueño desde pequeño, a base de esfuerzo, compromiso y trabajo, porque aquí nadie le ha regalado nada a Tyrone. Entonces, ver cómo un joven alcanza este objetivo con mucho trabajo, pues es una enorme satisfacción. Y después, a título personal, bueno, hablando en mi nombre o en nombre del club, es el hito más importante que hemos conseguido. ¿Por qué? Porque nosotros como club, y hace muchos años, cuando mi padre estaba al mando, hemos organizado numerosos eventos deportivos Aquí vino a pelear Alfredo Evangelista, que había peleado con Mohamed Ali. Aquí ha venido a pelear gente importante, pero nunca antes alguien de nuestro club había conseguido obtener un título profesional y además avalado por la WBC. La WBC, yo siempre pongo el mismo ejemplo, es al boxeo lo que la FIFA es al fútbol, es decir, es el organismo con más prestigio del momento.
Being a professional is definitely being a journey which I'm enjoying because, like I said previously, it's something I always dreamt of. Every fight has been a different fight. Every fight has been a new learning curve. I've learned from every fight and I believe I've been improving fight after fight. I do think I've gained a lot of attention and a lot of momentum. In the end of the day, the reality is I've got nothing to prove to anyone other than myself. So, although you could argue that there is pressure, I always try for the pressure not to get to me. Like I always say, recovery is a major key point in any athlete's preparation. And I was going to cryotherapy once a week into the oxygen chamber as well. And I guess it helped. Yeah, being a firefighter is something I have a lot of pride in. In fact, my boxing nickname is El Bombero. So yeah, like a job which I'm proud of. It gives you a lot of job satisfaction. Every time you're on shift and you go out, you know you're going out to help. So in terms of job satisfaction, it's difficult to beat being a firefighter.
Bueno, el Club Don Príncipe para mí es mi club, mi casa. A partir desde el año 2000, a principios de los 2000, pues se instaló aquí en Los Junquillos, que es mi barrio, mis padres viven aquí cerca. Y bueno, pues yo me trasladé con ellos y lo que intentamos hacer es impartir clases de boxeo, de kickboxing, sobre todo destinados a los chicos de la barriada.
Yeah, it definitely felt uncertain at the beginning because you start to train with a new coach. His way of teaching is different. His way of approaching, for example, fights, the strategies, his training regimes, everything is different. So there was definitely a period of adaptation. But nevertheless, I think it's something that's done me well because obviously in boxing it's a sport that you never stop learning, and no matter how much experience I gathered previously, but you move to a different coach and you're always going to learn different things to add to your arsenal.
Cuando conocí a Tyrone, bueno, fue un día cualquiera de entrenamiento donde llegué y Manuel, el presidente, pues ya me había hablado de él, me había dicho que había un chico que boxeaba en Gibraltar, que hacía ya varios años que no estaba entrenando, pero que venía con muchas ganas, con un proyecto y bueno, desde el primer momento Tyrone se hace querer porque lo da todo, viene con mucha disciplina, se esfuerza el 120% cada día. Y es un ejemplo a seguir también para los chavales. Tyrone cuando vino aquí ya sabía boxear, además lo que más destaco de él es que es un boxeador muy listo, y lo que tuvimos, el trabajo que hemos hecho con él es pasar desde el boxeo amateur al boxeo profesional. El boxeo amateur se dedica más a los puntos, a ganar puntos, no se busca el KO, siempre se busca, aunque se gana por KO, pero se busca más ganar por puntos, a 3 asaltos. El boxeo profesional ya es distinto, es más espectáculo, es más dureza, es más peligroso. Entonces, lo que hemos hecho un poco la transición desde el boxeo amateur al boxeo profesional.
Well, at the beginning I was a bit skeptic when I started seeing his way of training, because obviously I wasn't sure if it was going to be, if it was the right training or the training that I needed, or if it was going to bring results. Time goes by, we started to compete as an amateur, and we see that the results are starting to come. Also, I start to get like more comfy with him, so he becomes more approachable and flexible. So it's like not everything now like has to be done as he says, but if for example, I have an opinion, I can give it my own twist based on what I like as well. So it's good. There's some trainers will tell you, no, this is how it needs to be done and there's no other way. But with my current coach now, it's different, which is good and I like it.
Lo que más destaco es de los 3 últimos combates, se ha visto la evolución en cuanto a la dureza, a la pegada, ya está entrando de lleno en el boxeo profesional, lo demuestra el último título, los 2 últimos KO que hemos acabado con ellos antes del límite, y bueno, la convivencia con los chicos es muy buena, tanto él se puede pegar haciendo sparring con un boxeador de primer nivel, que se puede pegar con cualquier chico que está empezando ahora, entonces eso dice mucho de él. Lo principal es, en este mundo del boxeo, es con cuidado. Dar un paso muy rápido sería un problema. Entonces, vamos con cuidado, no tenemos prisa, no tenemos ninguna prisa. Como siempre decimos, damos un paso, aseguramos el pie antes de dar el otro, y sin prisa y sin nada y que nos apriete, pues que nos apriete el ritmo, siempre nos irá bien.
Well, it's definitely a matter or subject that needs to be done in a team, definitely. Basically, when we put on an opponent, for example, we both studied our opponent and then we sit down together and we shoot tapes together. So he will give me his opinion of what he's seeing, and I will give him my opinion of what I'm seeing, and then he's also going to give me his opinion of how we need to approach a fight based on the strengths that he believes I have, and I will do the same and say, okay, I think I need to fight him this way because I'm more comfortable doing this, etc., etc. So we'll put all the pros and cons on the table, and then we say, okay, so this is what we come up with a plan and say, okay, this is how we're gonna do this. We're all in agreement. We're in agreement. Okay, we're doing this. This is plan A. This is plan B. This is plan C, and we start to work on it. no matter how much emphasis you put into whatever scenario you put in your head to try and help you, the reality is that at the back of your mind, you know that there is a belt at stake, even if you're trying to convince yourself that there isn't, or that you shouldn't think about it. I guess it also helps you to push you further, and makes you want it more, and that's, I think, how things worked out. The time comes when you're in your change room, you've warmed up, it's time to go out. The ring walk this time was amazing. The support this time was incredible. It took me ages to get to the ring, with my coach having to move people, like tell people to move out of the way, etc. I was quite relaxed. I would say I was way too relaxed.
Ladies and gentlemen, official weight 55 kilos, 200 grams. Ladies and gentlemen, his present, undisputed, undefeated, con un récord de 6 victorias, 0 derrotas. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, Tyrone, el Bombero, Buttigieg.
The fight started, and on the first round I got hurt, and that's when I thought to myself, okay, this might be more difficult than what you actually expected. The key point was the fact that the guy could punch. He had power. He had more power than I thought he did have. In terms of boxing technique, I wasn't surprised, as in I was quite confident that I was the superior guy in terms of boxing skills. But there was danger. There was danger in the sense that if he caught me, he could hurt me. You imagine round 1 finishes, I go to my corner. It's the most important fight of my life, and I haven't won the first round. I had won all the first rounds in all my professional fights since I started as a pro. And the biggest stages of all for me, I go to the corner and I haven't won that round. And I'm like, you need to focus. Speaking to myself and my mind, you need to focus, because this might not go your way. And I remember telling myself, it's in these moments where you show who you really are. It's in moments of adversity. It's how you respond to adversity is what's going to define me. And I remember saying, come on, let's do this. So I come out on the second round, and I definitely won the second round, but I did get hurt. Then we go to the third, the fourth, the fifth, and now I'm starting to see that I'm starting to get rounds in the bag. I've won a few rounds, although not easy rounds, but I'm definitely putting the rounds in. And it's like, okay, we're winning the fight, but we need to maintain a composure and a concentration, because there's danger with this guy. So what happens is you like sort of start to relax, because you're starting to see that the fight is going your way, and there's a high chance that you're actually gonna make it and the belt's coming home. But on the other side, on the other hand, it's like, don't get overconfident. Keep the focus, keep sharp, because nothing has been won until the final bell rings. Sometimes I'm at home, I look at the belt and it's like, you know, they go, it's here, you know. I can't believe, you know, I spoke about this to my friends, to my family, my girlfriend many times. You know, it's the ultimate dream. And now it's no longer a dream, it's a reality, you know. And I'm to be honest, I'm overwhelmed by the support that I've received. I might be walking through the streets and I get greeted by people who I don't know. I get congratulated by people who I don't know, you know, and it's really overwhelming to see that even people who don't know you have followed you or have heard of what you've accomplished. And you know, when you hear people that you don't know tell you, hey, congratulations, we're really proud of you as a Gibraltarian to see what you've accomplished. You know, those are the moments that make everything worthwhile. I'm not sure if I can possibly be more determined than I already was. But yeah, I'm definitely still am determined, and I do want to collect some more belts. We'll have to see. Hopefully next year we'll get more opportunities. We've already got some ideas in mind, some options in mind. I will keep on working hard like I always do, but only time will tell.